What's going on, guys? This is Burrs. We have a video here for you today on how to replace the extractor on your 1911. Now, first off, let's get started by clearing our weapon here. What you want to do is go ahead and take the magazine, hit the magazine release, take your magazine out, thumb safety down, rack the slide to go ahead and clear that weapon, safe direction, and we are clear now. Now, I've already placed the extractor in this, and there was some fitting involved with the extractor. This is the Bulletproof series by Wilson Combat. Bulletproof series is amazing because it's basically like the Craftsman of gun parts. You have a problem with it, it breaks, they replace it for free. So that's why they got my business with that. Let's get down to business here. There's two ways to do this. You can take the slide off like you would normally with taking down, disassembling your gun and field stripping it, or you can do it the way I like to do it. Put the hammer down, slide back, lock it in, and then we are ready to go to town on this thing. Now what we want to do is get something small to push down on this firing pin so that we can release the firing pin stop. And how we're going to do that is you just push down on the firing pin and simultaneously push down on the firing pin stop. As you do that, you want to have your finger kind of over the top here to catch that firing pin. It's going to come out right there. Okay? So you take that out. Now at this point, right here is your extractor. Okay, that little nub that's kind of hanging over there, that's my extractor. You can take a screwdriver or something and coax it out here. Be easier with a smaller one, or you can just pull it out actually. Okay, so right there is the Wilson Combat Bulletproof Extractor. Now I had to do some modifications on this, which include right here, this face right here part actually was hanging out over the edge here, causing the slide firing pin stop to not be able to go up and down this channel like that. So let me go ahead and roll in the footage here when I went to Lanco Tactical and show you what Nate and I had to do.
Alright, so we got it fitted now.
So what we had to do that, we had to shave off some of the extractor and some of the...
Yeah, we had to remove material on the sidewall of the extractor. The internal part of the extractor is good, it's nice in alignment so that the plate can drop right in. But what we had to do is take some off each side here and a little bit on the inside so it would fit properly. And you don't want to remove too much from one side or the other because then you're going to get slop. It's not going to be nice and tight. You know, it's going to have too much slop left to right. So it's just basically file and fit to remove just, you know, tiny bit of metal from each surface area until it finally aligns properly. So that slips in there nice and smooth, but not completely loose. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to cold glue over the raw steel there so it's not all shiny and looks horrible. But I mean, that's a lot of drop-in parts are like that. You have to have the patience for it. You have to be able to, you know, just kind of relax. If you start getting frustrated with it and you want to take the bastard file to it, best thing to do is just walk away for 5 or 10 minutes, catch a breath, and then calm down and come back to it. You know, it's like you use the big file for going bold, taking large amounts of metal off, but it's hard to, even with a vise, to keep it perfectly square. You know, you're going to start dipping one side down over the other. So what you need to get is you need to get some of these jeweler files. Jeweler files, you got flats and you got rounds and everything else. You're going to mostly use the flats just to be able to get in there just a tiny bit of metal. I mean, not all 1911s are the same. It's kind of like the AK-47 where you have 149 variants by over 56 different countries. They're not all going to be perfectly the same. 1911s are no different, even though it's exactly the same size frame and slide and barrel and everything else. You know, we're talking 1/100th of an inch or 1/1000th of an inch difference, and you know, part's not going to be interchangeable. You got to fit. So that's not that big of a deal. The only other thing is I got to test to see how it fits. You have a little bit of a flange coming out of the back, which isn't on the world, doesn't do anything with function, but what we would do is we'd blend that, either hand file it down, or I like to use hand tools. I don't like to be a Dremel tool commando, and every asshole with a Dremel tool thinks that they're a gunsmith, and that's not the case. I mean, there's a place and time to use a Dremel tool, but I feel like you have more control, especially when you're only removing a very small amount of metal. You have more control just to go slow with a hand file than just go straight to the Dremel. You can do it with a belt sander too. If you have a belt sander, it's nice. You have a real fine grit belt on it. You can just hit it, check it, hit it. You know, it'll go a lot faster than trying to take a sanding wheel and a Dremel where you don't really have that much control and you might remove too much, you know, in one area and not enough on the other, way too much, and then you just ruined a part.
Alright, so we're going to use some snap caps here.
It worked out pretty good. Do it live rounds now. Have the hammer accidentally drop on you. It's better to actually get some action-proofing dummies like this brass reloads, you know, with no primer in it. Yeah, I don't think we need tension. I mean, you want to take it out and like shoot a couple hundred rounds to see, like 200 or 300 rounds. If you don't have any failures to extract within 200 or 300 rounds, then I don't worry about it. If you start having issues where like the extractor skips off the casing, then we would tension it, but I don't think it's really necessary to do that with this guy here. So I think it's pretty much ready to go. All we gotta do is clean up that back plate where it's still raw steel, and we'll just use cold blue for that, but you won't even be able to tell really.
Alright, so that's basically what we had to do. Is we had to take some material off the face here, and so that this could go up and down the channel without any problem. So this would come up here and it would kind of mate next to it, and this was hanging over the area right here and getting in the way of this slide firing pin stop from moving freely in the channel right here. So we had to take some material off there, which we did. This is also a Wilson Combat Bulletproof firing pin stop as well. Now to reassemble, what you want to do is take your extractor, put it down in there, and make sure it's flush. Very important to make sure that it is flush. Take your firing pin, go ahead and put that in. And then what you want to do is take something small. I usually get my firing pin stop started a while. And then you just want to push up on that once you get the firing pin down into the channel. Like such. It shouldn't take that long, but it did for me. And at that point, you're done. You can go ahead and rack the slide, and then we're going to give this a trial. You should usually do this with snap caps. I don't have any snap caps, so we're just going to do it live. So, as long as it passes that test, you can go ahead and go to the range and make sure that put a couple hundred rounds through this to verify that you have a good operating extractor. So that's how to replace your extractor. It's pretty simple. There's nothing to it with the exception of some fitting you might have to do, but coming from Wilson, the only thing we had to do was just make sure that this channel was flush, which there's just a little overhang there. So pretty simple to do by yourself. The tensioning really isn't a big deal. Right from Wilson, it extracted perfectly fine. We just put a little extra tension on there to give us a little warm and fuzzy. So if you have any questions on replacing your extractor, go ahead and put them down there in the comments or PM me. If you guys have a video response you want to give to this video, go ahead and put it down there as well. Always welcome. And until next time, later.